Hi, today we're going to break down the most interesting thing about weather markets, when the market makes a big mistake. I'll show you 3 real examples where the price on the betting market was far from reality. How do we make money from this? This is exactly what traders call an edge, a market advantage. In other words, the betting market is shaped by ordinary people. Most of them place bets based on memory and stereotypes. It's always hot in Dubai, and in London it doesn't always rain. These assumptions create distortions. Our task is to find these distortions using Windy and AccuVisor. Visor is a database of historical and statistical data, and we make use of it. We analyze and profit from this. If the market gives 60 cents, but the real probability is 15%, that difference is 45 cents. That's our money, our profit. Let's break down these 3 examples. I'll show you how and why we bet on these outcomes. Let's start with Taipei, where we have the highest temperature. In Taipei, 28 degrees. June 5th. As usual, we start with Windy. Type in Taipei. Let's take a look. Don't forget to check the measurement point on the market field where the temperature measurement is taken. It's the airport, this one right here. We place a marker next to it. We analyze 2 models. As you can see, the American model doesn't work everywhere, not at all locations. So what does this tell us? It tells us that in this case, we definitely need to use other tools as well. In general, I recommend always using them for the reliability and confidence of your bet. But you can also place bets simply by relying on the 2 models, since there is this table with statistics. It shows that the accuracy of the models when the European and American models match is 90%. This analysis is based on my bets, on 50 consecutive bets, only on wind, using this approach. Therefore, if we don't have a match, or if the model doesn't show us anything, we look and use other tools. We check where the warm front or cold front is moving, it doesn't matter which. We look, we can check the temperature of the front that's approaching, its speed, calculate the distance, and accordingly measure the time it will take for the front to reach the point we need. The next thing we do, if again we're talking about a state, then we go to visor.gov if it's the USA. If not, we continue to use AccuVisor, check June 5th, 28 degrees. We compare 28 degrees. We had a chance for this event. 4%, 4 to 5%. We successfully placed a strategic bet at 4.5, and our total profit coefficient is currently sitting at 20. So basically, this means we just need one Windy AccuVisor to win big. It is a very simple yet highly effective approach for us today. You can also connect historical statistics. This site also shows 28, a maximum of 28 in the historical data. It's also very important to look at this. To put it more specifically, the average temperature in Taipei during the month of June is frequently observed to be 28 degrees Celsius, and the overall average temperature typically remains at 28 degrees Celsius. Basically, almost nothing changes from year to year, unlike in Munich. But we'll get to that in a moment. So we look at Windy, we check it on Windy. If necessary, we calculate which front we have, and when it will approach, then we look at the statistics. If we have just one model or only 2 models, you can also check here. This table is simply based only on Windy, on the bets. There are 25 bets here, and I only used Windy when I created this table. There's a column showing if you had bet $100, what your profit would have been. Let's move on to the next one. San Francisco, June 10th. The highest temperature we have is 78, 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, first we go to Windy, check, calculate, and don't forget about the temperature measurement point. And since we're in the United States, we'll visit the website at visor.gov. Right here on this screen, we are going to look for our current local temperature. So we will begin by searching specifically for the city of San Francisco. We need looking at the daily data records. We have decided to select the month of June. We check the date. June 10th, we see that for June 10th, it shows us a maximum of 79 degrees Fahrenheit. We compare it here, 78, 79. The bet was successful. Also, in India, there are model statistics, especially the American model. If it's the USA, then the American model. It usually gives a more accurate forecast, but that doesn't mean we don't use the European one in this case. Let's move on to the next one. The highest temperature in Munich on June 6th is expected to reach approximately 24 degrees Celsius, or even higher. As we can see, this is the last line, and our chances were very small, really very small. Here 3%, 748, we bet on 47, and the odds were also around 20. We go to Windy and do the same thing. Calculate the distance to the fronts, which fronts are approaching our point, and if the temperature doesn't change, both models agree. You can also check the temperature for the next day using both models at any time, but of course it's better to look for the peak. That's logical. We look for the peak, compare the peak temperature using both models. Using both models, since the models match up, we will head over to the AccuWeather website to check the forecast. On the date of June 6th, we are seeing a temperature of 24 degrees. We consistently find that AccuWeather provides the highest recorded temperature readings, so that is exactly why we prefer to use this specific site. And its temperature matches up with the data on Polymarket. That is, it gives us the initial data that we require. 24 degrees here. On windy, the model also met. I also can't show it because there's no archive. And we have historical data. Also, this site showed us a forecast of 24 for the next day. And historically, every year the highest temperature has increased. Basically, as you can see from the color chart, the average temperature here is 20, usually 17 to 18, and that's why the price forms. So people they don't look at previous weather forecasts, at any historical data, they don't analyze it. They just usually check the weather forecast on a website or in the weather app on the iPhone and base everything only on that. That's why we just did a little bit of analysis, literally spent about 20 minutes on it and placed our bet. Basically the odds were very high, very good, the profit was very good, substantial, but because people shape the market, that's essentially why we had such a chance. A market error is not a bug, it's a feature. As long as people keep betting based on stereotypes and don't use any services. We open Windy, our services, historical statistics, we look and we see real data, real statistics. So 3 tools, 20 minutes of analysis, and you see what the market doesn't see. Subscribe, there will be more analysis and trades coming up.